What's up, guys? NFL Week 11 pregame show back. Fantasy football starts and sits. Shane's fucking got that on lock. Got some best bets for you guys. And let's get right into it. Week 11 starts now. First game we got up, Bears at the Falcons. Bears come in 3-point favorites on the road in Atlanta, coming off a nasty loss last week to the Lions, I believe. Right, Shane? They lost to the Lions last week.
31-30, yep.
There you go. Some money on this one right now. I believe it's all on the Bears. Let's see, Bears getting at +3, getting 86% of the money, 79% of the bets. And they're also getting hammered on the plus money on the money line as well.
These teams are pretty comparable. Both have a mobile quarterback. One is a lot more dynamic than the other. Both defenses are shaky at best. Just give me the home team.
Yeah, I agree. This public is all over the Bears today, and I mean for good reason. They're playing much better. Off a loss, and that could be somewhat more pumped and amped for this game. But I don't know. I'm not a huge believer in this team yet. The three here, I mean, I lean towards the home team for sure, but I mean, it's not going to be a game I'll be looking into placing too many bets on in today's game. I mean, Justin Fields is fun to watch, and he's turning into that guy who could hopefully make a run at a good NFL career. He's turned it around for the most part, I think. But yeah, I have no lean in this one. I like points in this game too, though.
Yeah,
I think both
I
defenses are
think this
kind of
one's good.
rough.
A lot of points.
Falcons against the run is one of the worst in the league. I think Justin Fields could have a field day today. No pun intended. All right, next one. Panthers taking on the Ravens today. Panthers come in as 12.5-point dogs. Money is actually on the Panthers today at +13. It just dropped 12.5 just now. 77% of the money, 64% of the bets on the Panthers. I believe Ravens are going to be in a lot of parlays today. I'm on the under here. When teams are, when the games the line is over 10 points, right? The last couple of years, it's been under City in those games. So I'm taking the under 41.5, and I lean probably the Ravens in a blowout here.
I just can't feel comfortable taking the spread in this game because the Ravens can't hold on to a lead to save their life.
Yeah, agreed.
And Baker Mayfield stinks, so
Oh,
go
he's
go.
starting to.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be a Lamar show probably with this another awful Panthers defense. I believe they're worse in the league against the pass. With Mark Andrews back as well, could be a tough spot for the Panthers today. On the road, Ravens off a bye. Is that correct, Shay?
Ravens are off a bye.
Off a bye, so they're fully rested. And Mark Andrews back. I think that's a tough spot for the Panthers today. I probably lean lighting the points, but my best play in this one is probably under 41.5.
Yeah.
All right, moving right along. Cleveland Browns taking on the Detroit Bills.
What, you're expecting a reaction out of me for that?
Cleveland at +8. A little bit of sharp money in them this morning. 54% of the money, only 35% of the bets. Obviously, Bills in a lot of parlays today as well at -350 in the money line.
Well, I said last week that the Browns had one last shot for me, and they blew it to the most degree. So until proven otherwise, they are not touchable to me. But
Agreed.
again, the Bills look like trash the past few weeks. Well, not trash. They look very not like the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
So,
There's too many
I'm,
stupid mistakes.
well, that's Josh Allen for you. He tries to
Yeah.
risk it too much.
So yeah, I lean Browns +8. Eight's a great number. It's also a tease line for most people to bring the Bills down to 1, so it could be a sketch line there too. Um, yeah, I lean Browns +8 and probably the over, just because I don't. Both defenses aren't playing too great. I think Nick Chubb could have a good game today. We'll get into that later with Shane's props. Um, just the Bills team in general is just playing sloppy, and it's just like not a Super Bowl pedigree team at the moment. I know Josh is hurt. He's been struggling with interceptions, fumbles, whatever you want to call it. He's been struggling in general. And one thing to look at here is their red zone offense. They're fucking so many turnovers in the red zone. Like it's getting disgusting.
Josh Allen loves to throw a pick in the end zone.
I loves it. He did it twice against the Chiefs. Did it last week against the Vikings. Just like it's getting way out of hand now. It's like gross. It's gross, obviously. But yeah, I lean Browns +8 in this one. Moving right along here, Commanders taking on the Houston Texans. Texans getting 3 at home. Commanders coming off probably their biggest win in a long time. I guess in the Ron Rivera era, probably his biggest win. 11-point dogs at home versus Philadelphia last week. Looks like it's about 50-50. Some sharp money on Texans at +3. Commanders getting 53% of the money, but 75% of the bets. One of the most heavily bet public teams this week. Over 41 getting a lot of money as well. 80% of the money, 57% of the bets. And like I said, money coming in on Commanders at the money line minus 165.
Yeah, they had a big win, emotional win last week. Usually, what happens? Fall back down to earth the next week. Just give me the Texans.
Yeah, I like Texans straight up here at +145. The line tells me that it's Texans game. They're at home, getting 3.5. I do not think this line should be 6.5 in Washington. I think that's fucking ridiculous, in my opinion. So I think Commanders coming off a high. Their guard down a little bit. I think Heineken could have a tough game today. I like Texans straight up, the upset outright. Moving along to Eagles taking on the Colts today. Colts off Jeff Saturday's first win last week as dogs. Matt Ryan came back somehow, some way. Let's see. Eagles coming off a loss, like I said, against Washington, getting 60% of the money, 70% of the bets. The over is getting pounded as well, over 45.5, getting 75% of the money. And, of course, Eagles in a shit ton of parlays today as well.
The Fighting Jeff Saturdays at home. I don't know how you could bet on them still. I mean,
No.
it was okay to do it last week because they were playing the Raiders and they stink. But now you're playing the team with the best record in the league. They're pissed off after their loss last week. I wouldn't feel comfortable taking the Colts in the slightest.
No. Eagles also fit a good NFL system I like going into today. Fits them too at -6.5, and a good bounce back spot for them. One thing I worry about the Eagles is the run game. They've been struggling against the run. If they lean on the pass game in this one today, they're probably going to struggle. Colts top 5 against the pass this year. They showed it last week against Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr started 0 for 10 in that game last week. So they're pretty good against the pass. They're still out Shaq Leonard, who's out for the year, unfortunately. But I think to win this game comfortably. There you go. I think they're gonna have to use Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts. Going to have to run the ball a shit ton today because that Colts defense, passing wise, looks pretty well. But yeah, I lean Eagles -6.5, and then they get the win here. My Patriots taking on the rival New York Jets today. Patriots come in at -3.5-point favorites at home, off a bye. Jets getting one of the most heavily bet dogs of the week at +3.5, and on the money line +3.5, getting 65% of the money, almost 65% of the bets. Jets at +140 as well, getting 65% of the money, 60% of the bets. And surprisingly, the over is getting hit pretty hard too, with 70% of the money on over 38.5.
Give me the Jets to cover and the under. 16-14, walk-off Nick Folk field goal. See you next week.
I like that. Just Bill off a bye has been pretty good ATS wise over the years. He's had the Jets number. Obviously, the last Jet quarterback to win in New England was who, Shane? Do you have any idea?
Christian Hackenberg.
Brett Favre.
I just like saying the right name.
Before Christian Hackenberg, Brett Favre was the last Jet quarterback to have a win in New England. So I don't think that changes today. I think Patriots win. I take the Patriots down to 2.5 by the point. Win by a field goal, I think, is a pretty good spot. And we'll get more into that game later on in Shane's props. But I like the Pats today. They're not a heavily bet team. They usually are. The Jets have been a public side all year. They've won some, they've lost some. Coming off a huge game against the Bills, I think it could be a spot where the Jets come back down to earth today. So I would not be surprised if the Patriots keep them at bay. And this game's gonna go under too. I don't know why the people are betting the over. This game's going under pretty easily. 21, maybe like 21-17, something like that. I see the Patriots winning.
It's 16-14.
It's gonna be a gross game. It's gonna be a field goal game, a couple of touchdowns, run in by Stevenson or Harris. So I think Devontae Parker's back as well for them. So I think the Patriots show up today. They're fresh, defense going to play tough, and build off a bye. Weird game today, in my opinion. Rams taking on the Saints in New Orleans. Saints giving 2.5 to the struggling Rams. Matt Stafford back today. Public still not liking the Rams too much. 40% of the money, 51% of the bets on the Rams. Under has a little bit of sharp value. Under 39, getting 72% of the money, but only 49% of the bets. And the Rams are a public dog today in the money line for some reason. 84% of the money, 56% of the bets on the plus 125 Rams.
Teams win in surprising situations, and I feel like this is what's going to happen with the Rams.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I don't know if teams know how to game plan for them without Cooper Kupp. I feel like this might be the best offensive showing for the Rams this season because they don't know where the ball's going.
Yep.
So I like the Rams in this game.
So do I. I like the Rams at plus money. I like the over as well, just because, like you said, Rams unpredictable. Saints have shown to be putting up points. His Rams defense is not what it used to be. I could see 21-20, 21-17. I mean, that's 38. So, yeah, around the 40 mark, 41, 42 points. But I like the Rams to get the win here in New Orleans. Next one. Good old Detroit Lions taking on Shane's New York Giants today. Giants now at -3 at home, getting absolutely destroyed in the market. Public all over New York today. 78% of the money, 75% of the bets on Giants -3. Over, under, pretty much 50-50 on that one at 44.5. And the public, like I said, at -175, putting them Giants in them parlays.
So the thing about the Giants, like they're defensively. Against the pass, they're pretty good. Against the run, not so much. You're going against the Lions team who has two very capable running backs right now. So, I mean, personally, I think the Giants win, but I am not at all surprised if they lose this game.
Yeah. Lions money line. I'm sorry. It
doesn't surprise.
It's time. It's time.
Hey,
it was time. Something's got to happen. Something's got to happen. It's time. You're not going to win the rest of your games. This is a good spot for the Lions, I think. Coming off a huge win last week, Campbell's got.
Do you think they win 3 straight?
Dude, Dan Campbell's got this team hyped up, ready to go. They came back against the Rams. They took care of Rodgers at home. They beat the first road divisional game in like 6 years last week. Like, they're on a high note. Giants, I think, are kind of in mud right now. They're going through the motions. They haven't had any real ups and downs all year. This could be the first spot where they get down in the trenches and maybe rely on Daniel Jones too much in this game. I like the over, though, in this one as well. Both defenses have been playing well. I think Lions run the table on this Giants team, but I think the Giants can put up a ton of points on this Lions defense as well. But I lean Lions +3, +3.5, and sprinkle the money line this one. I think it's a good spot for the Lions to get 3 in a row for the first time in probably, decade maybe?
Maybe since they went 10-6 in 2016, so maybe since that one off year.
Yeah. But, yeah, I like the Lions today. Big spot for Vegas as well. They're going to need the Lions to cover and probably win this one. Give me +3 at -105 on DraftKings and sprinkle the +145. All right. What an absolute shit fest in this one.
Game
Las Vegas, oh my dear Christ. Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Denver Broncos today. Broncos at what are we at for this line? I'm drawing a blank.
3-6.
Where is no? The line's at Denver -3. Basically a pick 'em in this one. Raiders somehow getting money at 60% of the money, 60% of the bets on the Raiders plus the 3. Money all over the under in this one. Under 41 getting 75% of the money, 65% of the bets. And like I said, the public is on the Raiders.
First off, did people forget that the last time they did it was like a shootout?
Yeah.
Because it was like 30 something to like 20 something. I'm still taking the Raiders in this game. The Broncos can't trust them in the slightest. Well, you can't trust either, but I trust the Raiders offense more than the Broncos offense. Um, I mean, Devontae Adams is still gonna have a day no matter who's on him. Um, I don't know what else to say. Both teams stink. There's not a lot to say about this game because both teams stink. Both the two like most underachieving teams in the league going head to head. I'll just take the rate. You could say that you'd see a split, but I can't with the Broncos. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna lean the Broncos here in this one. I saw an absolute shit show last week by the Raiders, and they played a defense that is less than the Denver Broncos, and I think the Broncos defense is just gonna freaking swarm this Raiders team. Passing, running wise, I think Derek Carr is gonna struggle once again today. Um, it's money line or nothing though, because I can't take a point spread with this Denver team just because they win in such shit ways. So I'd
Yes.
probably stay away from the spread. And if I had to, I'm not betting on it. If I had to, I'd just take the $1.45 and hope I'm good at this point. But yeah, I cannot bet on this Raiders team right now. Just not coached well. Derek Carr is playing shit. O-line shit. Josh Jacobs is coming back down to earth a little bit to where he's usually at, like I fucking projected.
I mean, is Alvin Kamara working well for you right now?
We'll not talk about that. But yeah, I like the Broncos here at home. I believe it's gonna be a little chilly there today too. So
The
Vegas playing in
altitude.
the
Don't
cold.
forget about it. It's the
Oh yeah, the
altitude.
altitude. Yeah. So yeah, field goal game in this one. Broncos get it out by 8. Game of the week. Cowboys at the Vikings today. Shane, does that make any sense to you?
I don't know, but people are gonna keep, or people are gonna say we keep disrespecting the Vikings, or I keep disrespecting the Vikings with this.
Cowboys at -1.5, getting sharp money today. 51% of the money, but only 38% of the bets. The over at 48.5 is getting pretty destroyed right now in the public market. 80% of the money, 70% of the bets, and a lot of people on the Vikings here are plus 100.
I mean, Cowboys after a loss, heartbreaking loss because they blew the game. They were up 14, and they let a rookie who hadn't caught a touchdown all season score 3 on them. Um, Vikings after a miracle last week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take them to fall back down to earth a bit, and I'll take the Cowboys.
You know what's funny? And you know, I look at this shit differently than most people. Do you know that if the Vikings were a loss last week, this line's probably at -3 Minnesota?
Probably.
Isn't that
They
crazy to
want
think about?
they want you to take Minnesota.
But my game of the week, my bet of the day is on this game today. Um, Side total, parlay, whatever you guys need, I'm on it. Saying this one, $10 gets you to play. Hit me up at GoGetEm_sports. $10 straight to you if it does not win. 100% refund plus a week free in my VIP chat. We're 14-6 my last 20 bets, up around 35 units last 20 days. Hit me up. One play a day I do. This is my play today. Minnesota Cowboys. I have a play in this one. Come get it. Got you. Bengals at the Steelers. A little rivalry game today. Going to be chilly there in Pittsburgh today. Pittsburgh at +3.5, getting a 20% sharp differential, 55% of the money. Looks like 35% of the bets. Over 40, getting 60% of the money, 75% of the bets. And the Bengals getting pounded on the money line and probably most parlays.
People may forget that these teams faced in week 1, and Joe Burrow had like 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
However, I mean, I'm still going to take the Bengals to win, but I cannot touch the line in this game because the Steelers, the Steelers defense, like on paper, shouldn't be good, but it's always good right now.
Yeah,
So
they're getting healthy too.
I'll take the yeah, TJ Watt's back. I'll take the Bengals to win, but I can't take a line.
I
Can't take
like the under.
I don't mind the
I
under division
I like the
game.
under 40. Yeah, divisional game. Tough matchup, rivalry game in Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh wants any chance in hell in winning this game, going to play stellar defense. T.J. Watt can have to get a couple sacks on that horrible offensive line they have in Cincinnati. I wouldn't be surprised if Steelers win this game. To be honest with you, it's a good spot for them at home. They're not off a bye, are they? No, they're not off a bye.
The
The
Bengals are.
Steelers, Bengals are still. So yeah, this line's still a little suspect off a bye. Bengals fresh. Jamar is not back yet, correct?
No.
Not back yet. That offense has been struggling a little bit without him in it. I think Pittsburgh, but I like the under the best in this one. Under 40, under 39.5 in this one. So bloodbath. Sunday Night Football, good matchup here. Another divisional matchup. Chiefs at the Chargers. This line's been moving like a freaking machine all week. I think it opened up at 6.5, 7. It's down to 5.5. Public, of course, all over the Chiefs at this one, minus 5.5. Getting 70% of the money, 70% of the bets. Over 52, getting 75% of the money. And I bet Chiefs are in everybody's parlay today. What do you say, Shane?
Chargers money line. That's all I gotta say. Give me the Chargers. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams
Both
back.
back.
They're out for vengeance after the week 2 loss.
Yep.
I think we see Justin Herbert's best game of the season. Because he played pretty well against the Chiefs in week 2, even when he got his ribs smashed in.
Yep.
Division game. I feel like the Chargers always get one on the Chiefs every year.
I like the over.
Oh yeah, there's going to be points in this game.
Points. I think
Chargers
points,
defense
points.
stinks, and then Chargers are. I think the Chargers can get hot right now.
Chargers are healthy right now. Weapons back.
They're still the second most injured team in the league, but they're
healthy. Yeah, but offensive wise, their weapons are back.
Yeah, they're getting their weapons back.
So I like points. I like the Chargers straight up too. Good spot for them at home. They need to win to get back into playoff contention. Chiefs just don't cover. Nope. And man, I wish I had this back at 7. But yeah, I like Chargers. Chargers and the points. And points in this one. So, all right, Monday Night Football. Niners at the Cardinals. Niners at -8 now. Public on the Cardinals at +8, getting 55% of the money, 57% of the bets. Over 43.5 is looking at the public side in this one. But again, these numbers can change come Monday, so take a look before you place your bets. A little bit of sharp money on the Cardinals at +275 this one.
I can't touch the spread in this game in the slightest. It's Colt McCoy going for him, but it's still prime time division game. Whatever narrative you want to fucking spin on this game, I can't touch the 8 in any situation.
No, I like the under.
Like 20-17, but 17? It could very easily be like 20-10.
How did the Cardinals put up 17 points?
Defensive score.
Oof.
Their defense surprised. We were roasting their defense at the beginning of the year. They're not playing terribly.
No, I know, but I think it's like 27-13.
But it could also easily be like.
Oh, it could be gross.
13.
Yeah.
It could be 20-13, and look at that, Cardinals cover.
Yeah, but yeah, I like the Niners to cover that one.
I see a lot of time being milked off this clock. You have Elijah Mitchell and Christian McCaffrey for the Niners. As we saw last week, they split touches basically because I think they're trying to preserve McCaffrey for when it's playoff time.
Yeah.
And not overwork him. And then they just cut Benjamin in Arizona, so now it's just the James Conner show. And he had a blow-up game last week. Yep, so we might see him get more and more involved since he's come back. The clock's going to be ticking. It's the Cardinals at home, which nobody likes betting on the Cardinals at home.
No.
Yeah, just take the under. That's all I got.
Yeah,
That's all
I
I
like
got.
the under as well. Um, yeah, Shane, let's get in some props for this week. Week 11 props coming to you. Nick Chubb, longest rush over 17 and a half yards.
If I told you that he has cleared this number in every game this season, what would you say? Hammer. Nick Chubb's always due for a big run every game. I think
Yeah.
that's just him because I still think he's the best pure runner of the football in the league.
Yep.
Like I think he's better at like purely like just running than like Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry just gets a whole lot more volume.
Yep. I agree. I think he's just a monster with the ball.
Bu-
He's just tank.
Buffalo don't know what their mindset is right now because they've been on a skid.
Hmm.
They're in a neutral zone. If this was happening in Buffalo with all the snow, I would be kind of cautious of the 17 and a half. But
Of
I think
course.
I would think he would see more touches in that game as well. Um yeah, no, this hit every time. So if you bet this every week, you would be profiting a lot. So I mean, just keep the train going.
All right. I like that one as well. Nick Chubb, monster. And they run the ball a shit ton today against this Bills defense. So I like that one. Nick Folk, over 1.5 field goals today against the Jets.
I mean, he kicked 4 last week, 5 the week before against the Jets.
Yep.
He's only missed 1 kick the entire year, or no, he's missed 2 kicks the
Two
entire year.
kicks.
Um, he's the best offensive player in my opinion for the Patriots. Yes, I'm gonna put him above Ramondre. I know you don't want to hear that, but I'm putting Nick Folk as your best offensive player.
No, he's on timeout. What the fuck did he just say? Can someone please get a psych exam on this individual? Best offensive player on the Patriots.
Who's been winning you guys games?
Ramondre Stevenson is the best offensive player.
Nick
Shut your
Folk.
mouth and
Nick
explain the kick.
Nick
Explain
Folk.
your prop.
Nick Folk has been winning you
Oh
guys
my
games
god.
with his leg. I don't know how that's crazy. Go look at the past games. He's kicked 9 field goals in the past 2 weeks. I don't know what else you want. If you have a kicker scoring 9 field goals in the past 2 weeks, that says something that your kicker is very valuable right now. Anything from 50 yards and within, he's gonna cash. He's been consistent. He's scoring points basically every week at will. When you guys get, I don't know why you're complaining about me saying that you have a good kicker.
We do have the best kicker in the league.
Okay, chill. Justin Tucker is a person.
Now
Let's
he's
calm
3.
down.
Nick Folk's 3, in my opinion. But anyways, just say that again. We're gonna fucking end the show.
He's put up 9 field goals the past 2 weeks.
Yes.
That is a majority of your points. Why is it crazy for me to say the person that's putting up the majority of your points is your best player right now? It's not. You just don't. You just think it's weird to say because it's Nick Folk.
Can you fix your sweatshirt, please? Nope.
What is your problem?
Your string is up by your ear.
Oh, no,
Other side.
Yeah, no, Cameron.
There you
I don't
go.
know how this happened. It's had a bit of an accident.
Anyways, back on track. Nick Folk over 1.5 field goals. I like it too. He's hit it 3 of the last 5. I think it's gonna be a field goal game, tough divisional matchup. At -110, you're getting it basically at a free price. He's missed 2 kicks all year, so if he gets 2, he's most likely gonna make 2. I think he gets 3 today. So I like that a lot. Brian Robinson, Mr. Shot in the leg, over 64.5 rushing yards at -135. A little juicy chain.
Dude had 26 carries last week. And J.D. McKissick is out for the year. So that out of the 3-headed running back system, one of them has been taken out.
And one doesn't run the ball.
And Gibson's mainly there for pass catching now at this point and kick returns. So I think they've now kind of given the clearance for Brian Robinson to be the guy, which we thought would happen. It was just a matter of when.
Yep.
Um, they're playing against the Texans, who is the worst run defense in the NFL, and I I don't know how else the Commanders are gonna like control this game a lot. Like, 'cause I don't trust Heineke a full game. I can't.
Hmm.
I think they try to play the clock in this game, and how do you do that? You run the ball with your best running back, Brian
Agreed.
Robinson. 64.5 against the Texans is an extremely low number. I could see at
Yep.
least 80 plus. This is going to be a breakout game for Brian Robinson.
I like it. All right. Back to the running backs. Isaiah Pacheco over 53.5 rushing yards.
Yeah, I love betting. Well, because they're way more condensed than they are receivers. Because receivers
Yep.
just there's like a bunch of them on every team, but Pacheco is he's the starter now in Kansas City. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is gone pretty much. He's been being phased out week in and week out. Him and or Pacheco and McKinnon are overtaking him, but Pacheco's the main running back. Chargers are terrible against the run. They are tied for the most yards per attempt against them. Um, Clyde Edwards-Helaire on 8 carries in week 2 went for 74 yards. I think and Pacheco is faster than him, so
Mm.
breakaway speed. He was a track star in college at Rutgers University. Uh, yeah, I think we this again another running back where we're gonna see a breakout. It's gonna be Isaiah Pacheco throughout the rest of the year. So I think this is the lowest the number I think is gonna be for a while. So I think
Mm.
even though it's a little bit juiced, I think at 53.5 you have to take the value with the yards itself being low.
Gotcha. All right. Let's hear some starts and sits from the man himself. Shane, it's your turn, buddy.
All right, we're starting Danny Dimes this week. He has not thrown a pick since week 3. That seems weird to say. He's not thrown an intercept. He's only had 2 picks
Cancel,
on the year.
cancel, cancel the report. The show's over.
He can still play well, and the Lions still win. He's going against the Lions defense, which I mean they picked off Aaron Rodgers a bunch, but Aaron Rodgers I think still put up a decent fantasy week last week. That just shows how you can work against the Lions defense. And he has the ability to get you yards on his leg with his legs. He can easily go for like 160 passing yards and then like 80 rushing yards and have a touchdown, maybe 2. Maybe Barkley doesn't see the end zone this week. Who knows? But I think Daniel Jones can have you a safe floor this week going against a bad defense. So if you need a quarterback, if you have like Brady or something and they're on a bye, play Daniel Jones. You should be fine. Brian Robinson, again, he's the starter now in Washington against the worst run defense in the league. He had 26 carries last week. McKissick, I'm just basically repeating myself. McKissick out for the year. Brian Robinson seems like he's in a smash spot this week. Darnell Mooney, he's the clear number 1 going against the worst pass defense in the league. I think there's a lot of points in this game. And if there's going to be a lot of points, I mean, someone's got to catch the ball. I want to take their number 1 option. He's been getting more consistent as this offense has itself been getting a lot better. Tight end, I have Greg Dulcich of the Denver Broncos. It makes me want to throw up putting a Broncos player here, but he's seeing consistent targets out of the tight end position, which is a hard position to nail. Russell Wilson also loves throwing to his tight ends. So I think Greg Dulcich can get you a solid or like a base set amount of points from the tight end position, maybe like 8-9 points, which is like a win in any week from your tight end position. And I like starting the Bengals defense. I think this overall defensive game, Kenny Pickett is prone to turning the ball over. He's tied for the most interceptions in the league and has played in significantly less games than a lot of the other quarterbacks. So I think just for the turnover upside, I'm playing the Bengals, and they're coming off a bye, getting more healthy. Sits, I have Jimmy Garoppolo as a sit. I think this is a run-heavy game between them and the Cardinals, and with that, Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to get involved. He himself does not run the ball unless it's a QB sneak because he wants to beat Brady. But I still won't feel comfortable playing Jimmy G if you're in a position where you need to play a quarterback. Like, say, if you have Kyler and he's hurt, I'm not picking Jimmy G as the replacement. Deonta Foreman, I have as a sit. He's only been succeeding because the Panthers have been in game environments where they are allowed to run the ball. They're playing the Ravens, and I believe that they will be down a good bit, thus neutralizing him, and he might not see a lot of action this week. At wide receiver, Curtis Samuel's a sit. At the beginning of the year, he was seeing a lot of volume when it was Carson Wentz. Now it is Taylor Heineke, and he's only been seeing 4 targets in each of the last 3 games, which is not substantial enough in fantasy at this point. Especially because he's not that down the field guy. He's that like underneath. He'll get you like 3 or 4 yards a catch kind of guy. So if you feel comfortable getting 8 points a week, feel free. But I would rather get upside on some other players. Dawson Knox I have as a sit. The Browns are surprisingly good at defending tight ends, even though their linebackers are atrocious. Um, he's not seeing consistent targets. Like he's had 2 targets, then like 4. I think the most targets I've seen him have is like 7. And that was like all the way in like week 2. Otherwise, he's been sitting in that like 3 target range, which is that's just not enough to give you production. He only gets saved by touchdowns, but you can't predict touchdowns on a weekly basis in fantasy. And then again, the Raiders defense will again be a sit for me because I could not get paid to play them in any situation. Even though the Broncos defense is bad, the Raiders can't generate pressure. They don't turn the ball over. So I don't see any upside to play them in any situation, even against a bottom tier offense in the Denver Broncos.
Good shit, Shane. I love listening to that report. Good stuff, my friend. All right. That's NFL Week 11. We're going to catch some football. Peace out. Please bet responsibly. We'll be back here next week, Week 12. Have a great Thanksgiving. Be safe. We'll see you back next Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time.
Yes, sir.